Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thursday night. How are you? Wild Bill in the house. We're going to let this thing fill up a little bit. We're doing something a little different. We're starting something a little different. And we're working on something a little different. Kelly Klein, what up, man? Wild Bill, Boss 223, Paul McNeil. How many Thursdays is it going to take to do this thing? That's what I want you guys to guess. So coffee up, get something to drink, whatever. We're going to crack into it and go for stopping points. I wonder how many Thursdays it'll take. I'm saying 5. I'm saying 5. At least one night, no way. And 5's just getting the chassis built, probably, because I'm only going to do it on Thursdays, but we'll work on other stuff during the week and just catch you up on it. So the show will not completely be the Basecamp build, but it will a lot be the Basecamp build. And it is Thursday, so we can talk about releases and stuff like that as well. I'm working on a new surface that's like 39 inches by 74 inches. It's huge. I have a second camera set up right now, but it's just my phone. So we'll get better. But yeah, Dylan, what's happening? Kelly says one night. No way. This is where we're going to talk about stuff that usually I'm afraid to annoy you with on the Sunday live stream, RC Pilots Lounge. This, I don't quite know what to call it yet. So it's Pilot Ryan's Axial Basecamp build. How many Thursdays will it take? Dad, what up? Mike Bird. This is basically part 1. We'll see. We'll see. I actually haven't been nervous for a stream in forever, and I have been for this one because I never really do this on camera. This stuff I've been keeping to myself for a while as far as the builds. Now, I will talk about it, but I don't generally go for it. So we're going for it. Why Basecamp? Because it's awesome. They're easy to get, and they'll fit on about anything. If you do scale builds, you'll kind of wish you had something that had more scale location for the transmission and the motor and stuff, but we'll talk about it. So I've got this, which is really generally a leaf sprung truck if you were to buy the Boom Racing one, but we put ours on coilover Basecamp builds and fabbed it out to make it fit, cut a lot of the floor out. Lots of cool things going on there. Dig that license plate real quick. My kids found $50 bill, but not the other half. So I was like, you know what? That might be a good license plate, whatever. So I glued it to a old gift card. And the Basecamp right now is on sale. We'll go crack into this and start assembling it later. I do have something I wanted to unbox, which is definitely related to the surface stuff we're doing tonight. We can still talk about planes. There wasn't any releases today except for the expansion pack on Real Flight. So check that out through the link in the description. You can go to Horizon. If you click that first link, it's a Labor Day sale. Get you Basecamp, $70 off right now, $199. And I'll let you watch this replay and you can catch up and build along if you want to. Is kind of the idea. And honestly, these Basecamps are amazing. I like them. Maybe we'll do a different kit next time, but this is my second one in just a couple months. Yes, Wild Bill, $199. Wild Bill wanted to know if the Cherokee Gladiator truck is from Cult 3D. He believes so. if you're digging this surface stuff a little bit, definitely check out the live stream from yesterday, Scale Builders Guild and Harley Designs. They interviewed Jimmy Knight from Knight Customs. Really cool 3D print stuff going on with those dudes. Super cool system. I want to make sure there's no echo. You guys, does it sound fine? I felt like I was hearing some kind of feedback. Is it fine? What's up, Doughboy? Meet Servo. So, yeah, this is an interesting one for me tonight. Like I a little bit like what do I do? So I'm going to unbox one of the worst crawler trucks that you could ever buy, but I love them, and I'll tell you why. Some of you already know. Oh yeah, the Sin Racing 450. Kelly and Kirk have theirs dialed in. They look amazing. Kelly and I, man, I've learned so much just vicariously through Kelly, and I have been shopping 3D printers myself, and I was going to get one like Kelly's, and then I watched the live stream from Matt and Josh at Scale Builders and Harley Designs, and a lot of those files at Knight Customs are already dialed in, G codes and all, for a bamboo printer. So I'm working on it. Wild Bill found a print of a 65 Ford body. I really want to build one of these base camps. Yeah, man, now's the time. Get on with this. This thing does offer a dig, but you can do the lockout, so you don't have to buy the special servo to do it. Let me make sure this thing ain't feeding back. I don't need it yet, but let me double check. Dude, $199, usually $270. Fantastic. And I'll show you real quick what this, I mean, it's not much. It's not lit up great, but it's a little something different, or it might be helpful. I don't know. We'll figure it out. The Basecamp kit is amazing, and it's straight axle. If you buy a Basecamp, it's portal, but and that's all fine, unless you want to do scale stuff. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Prusa as well, and I think before the bamboos came around, that was the way to go. So I really am kind of stuck on that bamboo, though. It's supposedly very user friendly, and yeah, M Shag, good to see you, man. So let's crack into the worst crawler ever. And I was gonna maybe do a dedicated video about this, but I got really fortunate. I was able to get this big slab in here last night and prep a little bit. I still have my old table over there. Like it's kind of a mess, but I was really pumped up about this Thursday. So the one thing I really like about the Suzuki Jimny is what you can do with it. It comes with leaf springs already. Some of you guys know with the FJ40, and you can't see it, but the Mashkin's up there as well. I bought the leaf spring kits and added them on after the fact. Well, the Jimny comes with the leaves already installed. They're just under the axle, and it's no big deal to flip it and get some lift out of it. I think if you guys are into it, before I start the build, I'd like to unbox this Jimny and maybe take the body off of it, because this is the leaf sprung chassis that I'm going to use for the Jeep, like 1962 J20, super rare thrift side from the movie Tremors that we're doing in the background. So Kelly's been working on some files. We found a little trouble with the fenders. Short wheelbase Land Cruiser. Nice. I'm not familiar with that. You know, one thing I'll tell you is, like, right now, and you can get there through the FMS link on my website, but the Jimny used to be $379. I think no one bought them. But if you want a leaf sprung chassis on a budget, $229 right now, and even at the original $379, it is what it is, but it's still way cheaper than some of the really nice leaf spring kits that aren't even all there that I was at first looking at, which was, I mean, like, I think $700 for that GSM C-Max 2 that Matt turned me on to. Yeah. So let's get into it. You guys want to tear apart the Jimny? A brand new truck. My favorite truck to crawl has leaves. Yeah. I've had a great time making stock stuff perform better and making leaf stuff that's not supposed to perform. And I've done a few different builds on the Jimny platform. One of them is the Winnebago Tonka truck. So I think when I pull out this Jimny, I've got that Tonka truck to kind of compare to and show you guys some of the things I did to change it to make it work for that. The funnest part of this stuff is solving the challenges, if you ask me. Let's open up something on my new bench. Oh yeah, by the way, if I fix the camera a little bit, I can stand here and work. I'm standing up. All I gotta do is fix the camera. I'm standing up. How cool is that? Bar stool. This thing's like 40 inches tall or something, this table. So one reason I want to open this, it does look nice. I can't get into the small stuff personally, but shagged, it does look cool. Looks pretty scaled out. I pass them over though. But one of many reasons I want to open up this Jimny, which just showed up a couple days ago, right, Kelly? We got ours. $229. If you want to do a leaf thing without spending a ton of money on one, like one you don't mind messing with, and then you have an extra body and wheels and a radio system if you don't want to use their stuff that you could use in something else. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one, with this body, but there's some cool bits on it that I may just steal. I have two of these bodies now. You got two of them yesterday? Yeah, man. Was it yesterday I got mine too? I was waiting to open it because I wanted a table. I just refused to do it. Dude, this butcher block is killer, y'all. So this is what you get, $229. They call it 6 scale, but it really pretty much dead on with the 10th scale offerings that we are messing with. So almost a 13-inch wheelbase kind of thing is what's up. This is it. Now, some of you guys are familiar with my Golden Nugget build. If you want to see, yeah, Associated is rocking it right now. If you want to see my Golden Nugget build, which I did on one of these after I gave it a lift, changed the tires, and me and a guy built the rest of the truck. See how this is open. Let's look at this truck. What's up, Brian? Yeah, that's cool. I wish I liked 24 scale, but I can't get into it. So this thing does come in a crazy EPO foam case, which I will never need again at all. This is what you get. And I mean, the mirrors are legit. You get this radio, which is actually pretty good for ready to run. I'm not using this stuff, but I'll have it around for if I need it. Nice truck, super scale. And just like on my last one, the rear tire breaks off. I'll see if I can have them send me a whole new one over that one $3 wheel. So I want to keep my box for trash. But this is what we start with. And you can see, I mean, it's pretty well appointed for what it is. There's really no ride height to it. Super scale. It's got all the leaves. None of them have been removed yet. There's your roll bar, your mirrors, which go on right here. But like for other builds in the future, if I don't use this body, I've got two really neat kind of rubbery seats. The dash is decent. The wheel turns with the servo for the steering. Real neat shift knobs and pedals. I mean, it's a super nice body, but for performance crawling, this chassis sucks. But for doing scale stuff, it's dynamite. So this folds up, of course. And then we built ours. We put the whole box back on it and everything, and I patinaed it out and made it the Golden Nugget. It even has lights. Kelly, you opened yours yet? And honestly, y'all, to me, the whole reason I bought this is for the chassis. There's your battery bay and your motor and stuff like that. This is going to end up being what's under Dad's the trimmer's truck, and I'm pretty excited about that. But I'm going to take this body off already. Both of them open, Kelly said. Unplug the steering servo and the lights. Honestly, I can unplug everything from this receiver. Yeah, front motor and trans. Wait till you see this, how compact this is. This is why we're choosing this. And like I said, this is my third project on one of these chassis. So kind of know, I've been there before on this. And legit, we're taking stuff apart right now. We are. And let's see, what size is that? 2 millimeter, probably. We're going to just strip this right now so you see what we're talking about, guys. And you can see that the leaves are here on the bottom and spaced on these axles, but it's easy to flip them. The only thing you got to do is make sure you do something different with the servo so you get some geometry going. Is it a 2? Yep. And I always start them before I fire it up. All right, first screw on the desk. And I don't have the thrift side yet, but I do have that Jeep Gladiator down. Oh, I can chop down a geometry. I mount the servo opposite of where they have it and space it out so I can use the same lengths. And you can tell I know right where to go. To get this chassis off. The real potential is once you get these things built and back together. So this is the only big one. And what's nice about this right here is when you do the conversion on the other FMS trucks, you have this big plate that has all these attachments for the links. This one, since it never had links, has the cleanest plate right there for the transfer case, which I think is dynamite. 2.5. Yep. So yeah, I've done a ton of these. And it's a really decent platform for a low price, man. And we've put the my Winnebago still has the stock power system in it, but in my FJ40 and my Michigan, I think as well. No, the Michigan's on the stock motor. I just changed the ESC. Especially, Kelly, after we shopped around and looked at everything else. Like if you're building, this is like one of the best kept secrets. Now, did I get enough undone? Let's see. 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. Nope. There's just a couple right there. I might be able to get that loose though. Oh, there's 2 more here as well. All right. So 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 10 screws, and you got this whole thing off. What's up, Jordan? Kelly, if you want to jump on, dude, just tell me. I'll email you. We don't need this second camera shot right now. Have you stripped your Jimneys yet, dude? I really should take the tires off, but I don't want to. These are going into plastic. This hard body is plastic. I think I got one more, and that should be it. And man, we actually really like these chassis. Like I said, we've been driving these chassis as the FJ40 in Michigan, and we on purpose put leaf springs on those. So we kind of know what to expect. The only thing wrong with this Jimny is that it doesn't have the clearance because they've got the leaves way down here instead of on the top. All right, what did I miss? Is there more? I thought I undid. I undid those. What am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Is it the bumpers, man? Have you stripped yours yet? It's been a minute. I forget. I don't think there's anything else but the potential, maybe the bumpers. Is that it? I think I broke them off on the other one because I didn't want to mess with it. I mean, some really cool hardware you could salvage for something else here. I need to see. Hold on a minute, y'all. Bumper screws. Yep. It's not too bad. It's a little more than I remember screw wise, but there it is. So let me get this servo undone out of here. It's undone, but it's not out of the way, the wire. This, I cannot wait to size up Dad's body on this right now. The best thing to do is, let's see, I don't want to rip my lights up. The motor is like, forget about it because it's not going to be used anyway. What's up, Fred? All right, it's just the servo bugging right now. It's got that wrap stuff on it. We're about done on that. There it is. There you go. And then you got a nice, you know, we're not using a lot of this stuff, but it's enough to make something. And this has lights in it and really cool scale bits. I just don't want it. I want this. Look how clean. Especially, I should set this up against the Basecamp so you guys can see the difference. How clean this setup is. And again, it's going to be setting up more, but look how clean this is. You keep this plastic tray and you can cut it down, do whatever, but that's your servo mount here is, I take it off, cut a little bit and mount it from the bottom because when you flip these leaves and drop this thing down an inch, the steering bar, it's not going to be right. So I can see the servo's way up here. You undo it from here and put it in from this side, space it, and you'll be able to keep your geometry. And it ends up being threaded on either side of the leaf once they've moved. But, you know, if you think about the Basecamp or a chassis that's built with coilovers, you've got these monster shock towers in your way. Dad, what do you think about this leaf spring deal? Now, these tires are way too big for what we're going to do to his, but I think we owe it to ourselves to check out the other body real quick as just a mock-up. And we'll do this axle flip business a different time. What was I going to grab besides the body? Oh, yeah. All right, so just for a minute here, I'm going to go big layout. Yes, it is a brushed motor. And on a crawler, really, that's not awful. The reason we like the brushless is not for the power, it's for the modulation. It's slow. But I think these, I'm going to be really glad to have another set of these real military wheels that I can use for something else. I'm having the most fun messing with this stuff. But one thing I want you to notice is even when we put our brushless motor on here, the nice thing about the brushless motor is there's no ESC that you have to find to put anywhere. But the transmission, the reduction is all in this little transmission deal. There's a slipper clutch also. And then this is just like a dog bone. This part's universal. And this is a dog bone. So even if you had to do something to get your motor and transfer case apart, it can be done. Because there's loads of universals out there of different sizes that you can maybe even make that dog bone on both sides. So this is what I want to see. Oh my gosh. Now these wheels are not the right wheels. Oh my gosh, brother. Definitely got some work to do on the back side, but let's just forget about that because thrift side is what we're doing. Anything we got to do, we can do. I can slide axles back. I can do all kinds of stuff. Let's just, for giggles, because my dad, you're watching, let's put the size of tires that we think are appropriate for the trimmer's truck on here while we're messing with it. So just for the record, I want to tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws to get the chassis off the Jimny. It's not bad. That's not bad. So I need my 1.5 right here to get these wheels off. Let's see those. Yes, I will probably use the Spectrum 2-in-1 power systems. They're easier for me to get, but I love the Hobby Wing, and they're probably about the same dang thing. So we're going to take these wheels off and put on, instead of these big dudes right here, let's just do it. A little mock-up. Now, for the trimmer's truck, will be ordering Mickey Thompson Bajas to keep it scale, but Who'd have thought, Kelly? Look at these chimneys. And then I can pull that bumper right off. Actually, man. I'm pulling that bumper off on the back. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? The 1080 is a great brush DSC. That's a good first upgrade if you want to leave it alone. You know what else is? The brush 2-in-1 Spectrum ESC receiver combo that comes in some of their ready to runs is actually pretty dang good too. That's what I put in the Michigan, and I left the motor alone. I'm just gonna get this bumper gone because it might let me get the body on the back on a little better. Fabbing it up, y'all. Yes, the bumpers, just like really most other people's crawlers as well, slide in. So this is coming right out. And that's not bad. And it will accept lights. So at least the lenses, if not the bumper, could be used for something. All right, real quick before I get the wheels off. That does sit down now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need to paint this a color so it doesn't blow out all the time. That's so good. That's such a good start. That's why I have to see it on the other tires, because Dad, I know we got to get the lift on it, but I think it's going to look pedestrian until I flip the I hate turn signals, Francis, because you're always turning. You're always turning on these things. And so it's a real problem to me if they're going off all the time. I do like reverse lights and brake lights. I need one little tool. Hold on. Two. Let's call it two. These military tires are pretty sweet. There's even these caps on here that on the front too that need to come off, like hubs, like turn-in hubs. Once you get them started, it shouldn't be a big deal. And then there's that gets you access to the, dang, dude. That gives you access to the, no, man, the whole cap has to come off. My fault. That's what it is. Yeah, we're going to see this trimmer's truck, at least not on the lift yet, because I promised you guys Basecamp stuff. What would you rather see? There's a lot of engineering that must be done still on this, because we got to get a floor in it. I just got this chassis. What's up, Michael Sherman? But what I think's neat about, I got to get a printer, because I think I'll be able to make what I don't have, like what I think I'm going to need. I think I'll be able to make. I do not want to scratch my table at all. I'm such a nerd right now. But this won't take long for the little tire mock-up. Then I'll clean up real quick and we'll unbox the Basecamp. Yeah, that's why we're doing it on Thursday, man. So everybody doesn't complain on it Sunday. And like, it's a little bit liberating because I just feel like, who cares? I don't feel guilty at all. What's up, Big Jim? There you go, boss. That's what's cool, man. Is you can make all kinds of stuff. So now we can get the tires off. Dude, if you're really slick, you know what you do? Watch this. Chuck this joint. That's talent, my friends. And while it's here, go on. Get these on. This is actually going to be really fun to see what this looks like. No ugga-duggas on this necessary. Oh, already looks better, doesn't it? The human torque wrench, 100%, man. I mean, pro tip, have you ever seen anybody do that? Michael, Mr. So if I say your last name really loud, apparently our buddy Mike Bird has a dog that'll wake up. So Michael S., hang tight and I'll show you what we're building. It's a project I'm making for my dad, and I'm doing one for me too. It's a Jeep J20 1962-63, what they called a Gladiator, but it's a Jeep truck from the movie Tremors that has a really interesting, what's called a thrift side bed on it. And it makes it, and we're still working on the files and stuff for that. And it makes it even more unique than a regular old Jeep truck. Dude, I could decorate a Christmas tree with these cross wrenches, dude. Okay. Now we have, now check out the size difference. It's substantial, man. It's, how do I show you guys? It's my thumb thickness at the nail different. So this is my brand new table, y'all. It's already better. Dad. Again, no lift has been done to the axle yet. It's going to be about like that. It's almost like we need to have me behind it so you can see the gap. Kelly, are you getting excited about this, bro? That looks really good proportionally, wheelbase. But, oh yeah, you see that plastic. I'll have to paint it black. But it's going to have a lift on it because I'll flip these axles or just jack the bed up. Honestly, as scale as I can do it is what I'll do. But we'll have some Mickey Thompson. Oh my gosh. How sick. Man, I wish I had this in color already. So, wow, Bill. I mean, the wheelbase is perfect. This is like 12.99. The Suzuki classified as 1/6 is actually, again, closer to 10th, but yo, that's gonna be nice. Let's see. I don't know if this helps y'all. Let's do it. Um, kind of see the body without being blown out on that other shot right there. Mike Bird, I mean, Kelly, are you digging this? So what's going to happen is the truck has a lift on it about like that. And so my thinking, I should have done this with the wheels off. Oh, Kelly, this is perfect. The chassis up against the bottom of the bed now, which is wonderful. So the lift I need will come when I drop those axles, flip the leaf springs around. The bed's going to be right on the chassis rails, which are flat already because we got a chimney and there's no, I know you can't see the bed when it's white. I'm sorry. Screen B on portrait mode, like all of it. I can do it on whole thing, but this is flat. And that's exactly what we want for that body. And then I'm not in the way of my drive shaft business. Trans tunnel, for this. But dude, that's pretty sound. That's pretty sound. And one thing that's kind of fun to do too is, here's another great way to see what you have to do to a thing. My head's not working right. What do I want to show you? Which way do I want to be? You get to see all the work you got to do right like this. There is not a whole lot the floor of the cab, but the truck. Now, again, this is not the thrift side bed we're going to be using. The thrift side bed that we're making, bro, this looks so bloody good to me. The thrift side bed that we're making, I'm going back to split, y'all. The wheel wells are not in the truck bed. So between the truck, the wheels, Kelly, just for reference, is 6.5, but you would want to do at least 6 so you're not binding up. 6 are a little smaller, 4 inches for the bed. And then the wheel wells are all outside on this trimmer's truck. So definitely a different kind of build. But yeah, it'll be lifted, bro. It'll be lifted. And it's going to be easy. I don't have to, I'll be still right on the chassis. It'll be when the axles come down. I almost want to put something light color behind this. I don't know if that'll help or not. The space. So the bed's not as wide. There's none of this inner fender business. It's a blank bed. And truth be told, the inside of this bed, I mean, I'm not counting the wheel wells, but it's like 6.25. So if I do have to cut this up to try to make the thrift side, it's actually not a bad start because it's multiple layers. You can see kind of how there's those channels. So I can cut all this contour stuff off and just work out of the straight sides and make stuff happen. Okay. That is going to be great. I've got some front end messing around to do. But here's what I'll do. I love solving these problems. What I'll end up doing is I'll reposition leaf mounts forward so I'm not gobbling up. I don't mind losing the bumper, but I don't want to lose really any of this plastic at the moment anyway, because it's going to be great for mounting the body and having a place for the servo. So all this is so perfect. I don't want to mess with it. The wiggle room is the servo. I really would like the motor to stay because I don't want to have to dog bone it up if I don't have to. Pretty cool. Okay, let's clean that up now and keep my screws in order because a build on a crawler is a deal. Greener Shade RC. The motor up front is 100% why we chose this Jimny. And because, I mean, at 379, it's a little steep, but like 229, okay. And then, bro, mirrors and doors and handles and scale looking dash, stuff that you can rob off of this thing if necessary. Okay. I mean, I have a coilover Red Cat chassis that I was making fit on my other Jimny body that I have because I made it because I got an extra body when I did that Winnebago. But yeah, this is literally what's under the Winnebago, guys. But on the Winnebago, I stretched it out a little bit also. On this one, I don't need to stretch it. I just need to maybe move some stuff. I don't really want to trim a lot on this front beige plastic because it's also pretty sweet shackle mount already. I can cheat it. I can move things forward. Definitely lose this bumper unless it looks scale to what we're doing, to be honest. Good times. All right, so let me clean up and we'll start unpacking Basecamp. Sound good? We're an hour in. I hope you're doing well because this is a new thing. We got 22 folks. Whatever. That's what I'm saying, Kelly. We just get on here and do our thing, bro. And if people watch it, they watch. Who cares? I think there's going to be days when we're doing 3D print stuff. Hey, man. You know, on the thrift side one, how there's the neat ribs in this. I gotta make it. Shag, I'm telling you, get a Basecamp and build along with us, man. Even this on this ride height looks sick as heck, bro. And it's a big. I mean, it's like a 13-inch wheelbase, dudes. It's a nice size truck. Yeah, it's totally probably 13. I'm running out of ruler. 13 and 16th or so. Yes, we will do something for the interior. And that's why it's so great to have these things and lay eyes on it, because you'll solve the problem when you're nowhere near the truck. And I've got all this chassis rail here in the middle, and even a couple things I could bolt to if need be. Not to mention the transfer case does not have to be right there. But since it already is, why not? And you got the telescopic, drive shaft. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It's going to be so good. All right. It looks so good already. Killing me, dude. Come on. It's already close. I mean, what a good start. That looks cool, even. All right, we're going to put some of this stuff up. Body parts right out of the junkyard. I mean, Dad, this is going to be sick. So tell me that's not better than the Jimny that it came on. Even if I don't do the thrift side bed, that looks killer. But the thrift side bed is going to make that thing over the top. What's up, Shay? All right, so let me put my Jimny screws in their own spot, because I know what will happen if I don't. Dad, doesn't that look cool? We did good on those Jimny chassis. That's a good idea. Dad, those tires are it. That is the right size. We'll get Mickey Thompson Bajas and we'll be right as rain. Why is this so much fun? It is. You know, I love flying, but I can't always get away to do it. Flying's my favorite. But I really enjoy messing with these, and I can do it whenever. It's always nice having these kinds of screws for later, too. Shay, let's do it, man. We try to go out on Saturdays or Sundays. I don't know. We were going to do something this weekend. I don't know what's going on. If family's got people occupied or what. But I know Saturday's probably out. I know you're talking about later on. So that's the Jimny. It's a whole big box for not a whole lot of screws. Well, I tell you what, I'm excited about getting that little tiny ultra stick, ultra micro. All right, an hour in, we got to decide stopping point kind of stuff on this Basecamp deal. So we're just going to start cracking into it and looking at the manual and start putting stuff together. We're going to get to a stopping point, and I won't touch it till the next Thursday. If you guys think, oh, Michael Sherman, 40 inches by 74 inches. I refinished this butcher block myself, and I mounted it up on black pipe for like gas line, and it's like 40 inches tall or something. It's awesome. I can stand up at it and work. If I move the camera like you got me and I still got surface, or I can sit down in a different chair that I stole from the kitchen and do it like that. Yeah, Reba McIntyre's in that. What kind of chair? I have no idea. It's like a bar stool, I think. So how many Thursdays do you think it's going to take? Thank you, Greener Shade. It was a big deal, man. Me and my boy moved it in here. We could not move it. I had to move in the legs, and then we had to move in the table because it wouldn't fit. Spill something on it? I'm sure I will, but it's urethane to death. So I got 3 coats on it right now, and literally, you should have seen it before I sanded it up and put the stuff on. I mean, it looked rough. I'm just looking at that Jeep truck right now. Kelly, I may have to figure out where to put that servo somewhere else. It's almost better to move the servo than everything else to try to avoid it. You know what I mean? Kenny, which Kenny? What up, man? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. We're getting jacked up beyond belief. Thursday is a surface night for me now, man. And releases. We're double down on coffee and Mountain Dew. I don't know how much more hillbilly I can get. Before, after. Would you believe this is a 3D printed body? It's almost hard to believe that this is a 3D print. Look how clean it is, man. These are airplane hinges on the doors. A lot of wires, but it's neat and tidy. Yeah, like 109. Neat and tidy, y'all. Here, let me go full on this one for a second. So this is a Basecamp. This is what we're getting ready to start building. Kelly 3D printed this stuff, and I put it together, and he did one too. His looks amazing. I had to cut a ton out of the floor to get it to sit right. But I mean, would you even know? Land Rover. Would you even know this was 3D printed unless I told you? I mean, you'd have to look awfully close. But this is what we're building. This chassis under here, I did stretch it out a little bit to fit on this chassis. So this one is it's like 13 inches as well. I put longer links on it. Man, this is just like the Jimny. Kelly, did you already size your Jimny up on one of these? Did you? I bet it's perfect, isn't it? Anyway, so after, this is one thing you can do. And you can tell this got coilovers. I mean, this is what should be a leaf sprung truck that doesn't perform well, but it does amazing. The articulation's crazy. And what's funny is like it's like the body itself is the bump stops. So when you're crawling over stuff, it just really wants to stay square. And we've got these really interesting smaller kind of tires on there. But this was a fun build. And you can see on the back, if you look under the axle, maybe. It's hard to see because it's dark, but how much I cut out to let this chassis fit down there. It's flush with the floor. Anyway, you can do anything with these Basecamps. I don't know what I'm going to do with this Basecamp yet, but for now, we're going to start on it. And you know what? I got to tighten something really fast. I noticed this the other day. Real quick. Give me a break. Give me a second. So I have a Morvair body I could put on this. I have, man, Kelly's printing off another Willie's wagon that looks killer. That, especially since it's a box back, like with Dad's truck, it really needs to be a leaf sprung job so I don't have to cut the truck bed up to make room for shock towers. But this box back stuff, I got a fake interior in there. Like, you can't, it's fine because I can hide everything I'm doing. It's boxy. All right. I always wanted to put a screw on this real fast. Just a little bit of torque. Bro, is that too big? The little snug. He's using PLA. I'm pretty sure. PLA, and he's brand new at this. Now, this being what it was, like flat stuff like this, yeah, I'm gonna do PLA or PETG if I can get the. I want that bamboo, but these Land Rovers are amazing, and the departure angle's killer. There is no, I don't have bumpers on mine, but if you buy the Boom Racing kit of this, it's going to be a very interesting and detailed, involved build. Of course, it won't be 3D printed, so it'll be, you know, better. And it's on a leaf sprung chassis made for it. So super nice. And that's no power system. So you're like, you're 700 into the kit, and then you're going to be another into the power system and stuff. But that's is what it is. Let's go. Here's Basecamp. And so you saw what I did with the other one on the Rover. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And here's my little toolbox. If you get a chunk of foam, let's keep it. Kind of nice. And let's go. We're crack-a-lacking into it. First time on this one. And we'll see, you know, we're an hour and 11 minutes in. So we'll see. There's our manual. And here's our bags. Do you want this? Will it work? Will it help? Bag C, bag C1. I've built one before this Basecamp. I built a Vanquish. And those are the first two I've ever built, crawlers. The manuals for both of them were very good, and I worked it out. So, yeah, they're labeled bags. Bag C, bag C1. Bag F is some kind of chassis bits. Bag A is the axles, which is some of the first stuff that the manual will have us doing. And then shocks are going to be their own Thursday show, guaranteed. Another cross wrench, some Velcro body posts. Oh, yeah, I know what I need to get. Those pliers for popping the balls in, and shock pliers for holding the shafts. Here's your rods, your rod ends, and your rods are stainless steel. See you later, Francis. Honey Chuck in the house. What's up? I'm about to get bamboo, but want to print ABS too. I think it'll do it, won't it? I think it'll do ABS. Honey Chuck, dude, if you got a minute, watch the Scale Builders Guild and Harley stream from yesterday. They interviewed Jimmy. Here's the drive shafts, bag E. They interviewed Jimmy from, and here's our chassis rails right there, which we'll get to when they tell us to. So let's get into the manual and see what they want us to do first. I think it's A. Makes sense that it would be A, right? So we'll put these things back in. The kit does come with like a coupon, I think, for a body if you want to do one, and a bunch of decals. PLA wouldn't be a terrible option. Yeah, I mean, I think that what's people's gripe with PLA like this? The it'll warp in the heat, maybe. So if I'm doing airplane cockpits and stuff, I think I'd go for whatever is the most heat resistant. The neat thing about the bamboo carbon is that you can print with different kinds of filaments that may allow you to make some stuff that does not feel the effect from the heat. So here's our manual. And like I said, I've done one of these before, so pretty good. 25% off any Proline 1/10 crawler body. Golden ticket. There you go. This offer already expired. My bad. 12/31 of 23. This thing is done. So, oh well. But there's some license plates. Axial Fest stickers and stuff. Cool. Branding. Eat, sleep, Axial. Some cool stuff. and some BF Goodrich and Raceline, Fox, Gen Right, Operation 11 Charlie. That's cool. There's a sticker there for that. There. Fun. All right, we are an hour and 15 minutes in, and I haven't done a thing on this Basecamp. 25% off. Well, I guess not. I mean, honestly, who knows? If you went to task, put them to task, they who knows? You might be able to get it at a hobby shop or something. So here we are, manual. And what's great about this is the pictures for the screws and all that stuff are the perfect size of what you're doing. And I always keep a rule around. Some guys like to sort the screws ahead of time. I just go, and now I remember this part of the transmission is first, and it's bag A1. So we're timing this. Let's see. Somebody tell me. I can't see a clock. Somebody tell me what time it is Eastern right now, because my phone is busy being this camera. And I will get into bag A1 and we'll do it. Yep, we're building differentials. First thing out the gate. 1020. Greener Shade RC. Yes, I do. And if you go to pilotridemedia.com and click Horizon, it takes you there. But if you go to the description of this video, the first link is for the Labor Day sale. The Basecamp kit happens to be on there for $199 instead of $269. So the first link in the description right here is the Basecamp 1020. Okay, let's go. Bag A1. So it's going to be inside of bag A. And let's put these away for now. These other ones. The links aren't till later. Drive shafts are like almost last. Let's see. And kind of put them in order. Bag D, E, D, F, D, and B. Okay, guys. 420 in Hawaii. Bag A, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Should have the tools I need to get this going. So yeah, you can see by the picture that's diff building and axles and then knuckles. I'll have to get a better camera, you guys, but there you go. That's the rear, probably. And there's me and Kelly have so many ideas. I'd love to figure out brass tubes if they would work with the axles and lose the gussets and figure out design and keep the shock mount, I suppose, but lose the gussets and be able to make leaf spring mounts. I think would be great. Man. Anyway, lots of things to think about. So we got knuckles. This one's going to be the front one. Yeah, because there's like pan hard mounts and stuff. And when I build these, I usually do my shock mod right away. So instead of putting my shocks on the perch for it, there, I'll come down and share with the links. And so I instantly can drop my truck like 7/8 of an inch. Maybe 3/4 of an inch. That's performance, baby. I like it that way. Not everybody does it. But if you don't want to buy shocks every time you want to lower your truck, dude, super fun customizing. And like I said, Greener Shade, we put I stretched out the first Basecamp chassis for that Rover by about an inch, just by changing the length on the front and the drive shaft. So yeah, that's the plastic bits over here. And the first thing, so we'll separate that out, keep the bag because you never know. And then we've got bag A1, which is what we're doing right here, A1. So that's our bits for the diff. So our axles and stuff are in there too, but we won't need them yet. And we're not doing, we do have some bearings we're going to need as well. So sometimes, like this is bag A1, but they're showing some bearings. So they're going to be in here. No big deal. Bag A2. And that's scissors somewhere. So we get our bearings out. And I'm using my book too. That's okay with you. Yeah. There's our bearings. And a bunch of screws. So I like sourcing what it is I'm going to need. I need 6 of that size, which is an M2 by 8 millimeter. And that's real time size on the thing. And normally when I'm doing these, I'm watching someone else's show. But not at the moment. I am the show. We also need 2 bearings. And that's them right there. See, that's the right size. Seven by 14 by 3.5 says we need 2 of them. So they're sitting right there. The 6 of the screws are going to be eight millimeters long. And I like verifying like a little bit. I'll measure them. It's hard to, but that's 8. Actually, maybe not. So it's tedious, man, but it's a good time, and you take your time. So these shoulder screws are for something else. Hexes, grub screws, kind of divide and conquer, you know, like if you put like items together, that seems to be helpful. It's definitely not these big dogs. Not those. I know this is a bore probably, but show me the show for show. Little bushing thing. But when you sort them, that's when you find the ones you were looking for. Because sometimes it's easy to get rushy. Those are shorter. There's 3D printed like trays, which I think are brilliant the more I think about it, for sorting these screws, where you just kind of put them in and they go where they go. And that's the sizes are indicated. I guess that is the right size. These are all the same. Fine. Okay. So that's going to be in here. Oh, yeah. I'll have to get me some stuff, man. Especially since this is going to be an ongoing deal. And now we're getting into some of these bits for the diff. And this is what we got to source. This little dude here. And then where's my Loctite? It's right here, and some grease. Plastic ice cube tray is not a bad idea at all. Thread lock and grease. And it tells you when and where to use it. So here we go. We've got that little dude and bearing, which is premature. Oh, that's a bigger bearing. Is that a bigger hole bearing? It is. Yes, those are the wrong two. It's these two. Bigger, bigger, bigger. And that's the thing, like way bigger opening. And I should have known. That don't seem right either. I lied. It's these. If it doesn't fit, it ain't it. And you must have quit. You know what I mean? It's these without the shields on them. That's what it is. And the teeth go. So we got our bearing on, which is the right side of the illustration. We screw this on with the teeth facing that first bearing. We'll screw these on, and then the bearing goes on top of that. But honestly, you really don't need that one yet on the bottom, except for to hold things up. And it is gonna be probably a 2 millimeter. Nope, 1.5. Yep, 1.5. And time for the Loctite. And this is all I do. Let's get a little out there toward the end. And begin. I'm gonna have to get well, I've done it now. I've committed to doing it here on the show. I'm not gonna tighten all the way till I get things more than one going. Tomorrow night, we've got Jeff in Lower Alabama, Friday show. Check that out. Get these all started, and then we'll finish them up. So yeah, Basecamp build. Here we go. Ambitious of me. I think it'll be fun, and I've been enjoying it. So I thought I'd share it, and we'll get Kelly on here too, man. And I think we'll nerd out. And you know, I'm anxious to get a hold of a 3D printer. I think it's in the future now, finally. I thought it was inevitable anyway, but now I really feel like I have a really good reason. And that's going to open me up to all kinds of stuff, I think. Airplane stuff too. And, you know, it'll be neat to know. I don't usually use a driver to do some of this stuff because I don't want to overdo anything. Oh, nice. That's going in. Solids. And metal on metal, you know, it's good. You got to have that Loctite. And what we just did, I'm doing twice. So good times. And there's 6 more of those screws for the other one. So that's that. Making 2 of these. Bearing. On both sides. And we'll do it again. This is going to be in I mean, this is the diff. Easy peasy. Second verse, same as the first. And I like double checking. Yep, I did it right. Let's do the next one right too. Same deal. Teeth going to the step on here off to the right. No reason to get the bearings out yet because you still got to screw this all together. And it's going to be 2 more bearings right here. So yeah, they show what you got to do, and then it says ×2. Yeah, I need to make a note. I definitely need some balling. Is that what they're called? The balling pliers and shock pliers. There should be able to be, I think it's a one tool that does that, because I keep doing it with needle nose or whatever. And I think I told myself last time that I wasn't going to do that again without them. The right stuff. And man, honestly, I'm using plenty of Loctite in there. Enough to wipe it off when I'm done. Yeah, I got to get that tool, bro. You guys mind that I took so long to start on this Basecamp, or was it fine to break down on that chimney a little bit? I thought that was all right. I was excited. I was saving it for y'all. Man, that truck looks so good, dude. Those 4.19 size tires instead of the regular old 475s, still 19 rims, but 419 outer diameter. Perfect. Perfect. Scale, but not pedestrian. And but not ridiculous size. So glad about it. I just gotta get those Mickey Thompsons. Yeah, I gotta order a handful of things, man. Whatever I do, I gotta do it twice, man. I gotta make. I want to make two of them. All right. Did I get it? Did I get it? Did I get it? Once you get this stuff built up, bro, I mean, it's okay to double check now because, by the way, having some good bits is really a great idea. By the way, or you'll be sorry. All right, that's two. That fits nice. Two little diffs. Now it's time for A2 right here. And that's going to be the short axle. Carriers and such. Bearings are a part of this as well. Input drive, they're right here. Our axles are here. It's not quite time for them yet. The diff covers there. They want one of these. And man, the picture tells you, I mean, there's a notch on, there's like this boss right here. Right there. And it's up in the picture. So I mean, no harm in orienting these things the way they want to be. And then same thing. There's no boss on this side. But there is on this one. There's the boss. There's not one there. So take your time. And we need M3 by 8s. 2 of them. That's going to be these. Yep. 1, 2. The illustration says not to over tighten them. And then we need 4. Oh yeah, for the diff. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these. And bearings. That's it. So it's going to be the 221 is not that one. This is, we need 1 of those, just 1. And the 221 will be the smaller bearings, and that's going to be, we need 3 of these. These are for the axles and probably the input drive. Black grease on the diff. 221. It's these. So I'm doing it. So there's my knuckle or whatever. Put that bearing in there. Flat. And you can push it in with the axle. So there's a screw tab right there, and it's going to go insert in there. So that's that. And then the little screw goes in it, and it's going to be a 2mm. And so I don't lose things or get things falling apart, go ahead and do it right there. So that bearing is going to support the axle once it goes in. And you can see the bearing there. Your axle will go right in it. And we'll just go ahead and do this side too. The same thing, this screw deal will go right there. And this is one of the smaller bearings again. Make sure it's in flat. Push it in with the perfect, with the housing. And it goes right there. And then it's going to be diff and the diff cover. Don't over tighten because it is just plastic. So once you get it there, you can stop. Now this input pinion goes in through the big bearing right here, which is going to be the 4407. You go ahead and put it on the input drive pinion right there. That's going to mesh with the diff. Jab it through and sets the bearing. And then your third bearing goes here. And then when you're all together, your little drive shaft cups screw through this. And now take one of the diffs. This is cool, right? We got an input pinion in there already. And it's about time to grease it, man. And then here's our and the carrier for the whole, diff is the bearings. And get this in there, and the pinion spins it. It's that simple. That's it. So we grease it, and then we put the cover on it and call that axle almost done. So let's do it. Yep, gotta cut a hole in it. Man, I got one open already. And I'm never afraid to put a bunch in here. Honestly, I really don't mind putting a bunch in there. So that's what we'll do right now. I know some guys put a lot, some guys don't put very much. Some guys pack them full. I kind of like having a lot. So yeah, I like to hear it, like hot two of that thing. So that's plenty. And since that's plenty, we'll do a little more. Some guys, like I say, pack a full. So that's the diff. And then here's the cover. If you're going to do brass, now's the time you could throw it on. And that's it. Make sure all your bearings are in, and they are. So now you just get your big 4 long screws, which are 2 millimeter drive, but they are 15 millimeters long, and they capture the bosses on the back side of the deal. I try not to use the machine once I'm past tight. I want to be the one that cinches it or strips it. So I'll just go by hand on the last bits so I don't get too much going on. I would have liked to have been at that Horizon event at Cletus's. I know a guy can send those trucks pretty good. Nice. All right, now what do they want? Now we're doing axles. I'd like to get the axles done before the end of it. At least I'm thinking stopping point styles where I'm at. There they are. Check it out, y'all. It's the real deal. Okay, what do they want from me? 2 of those. We're talking about 2 of these already. Grub screw deals. We're talking 4 shoulder screws. 2 of these. And again, I get real liking this, orient the thing to match the image and go for it. So this axle goes in now. It's a longer one though, dummy. The long one goes in now, and they're keyed, right? Like squared off. So that's going to be, you see, once it's not in, but you turn it and you'll get where you have to be. So they're showing that. And then it's going to be, and you know, this like carrier is part of it. So it's a little hard sometimes to make sense of what it's showing you, but you got to use your head a little. So the steering's going to be on the front. The rack's going to be on the front of this axle. So the pivot, the long fulcrum part, it's weird to see, but it's going to be to you. And there has to be a bearing fit inside there. So it's going to be the big one that fits on the end of the axle, the right there. This is what your shoulder screws are going to be for, because they're going to screw in from here. So that's correct. And go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do that before I finish the bearings. Oh, wait a minute now. There it is. I don't know. Maybe I will go ahead and put the other bearing in. So bearing in there, and it's got a seat. And then bearing on the outside as well, right here of the carrier thingamajig. And again, making sure it's visually sound. There, we got it pressed in now. Shoulder screw. $2 millimeter. And you want it to spin freely. You like this new show? That's cool, man. I think there's things to offer all kinds of RC. I'm liking all kinds of RC. We had super much fun with boats the other day at Kelly's house. And man, some of you guys have winter times like I do. So I like to get it tight enough where it's kind of stiff and then just back it off. That way I know I got it tight, but not crazy. Oh, dude, the boats were amazing. And it's definitely funner with friends, you know. And so now I'm just going to stick on this side right now while I'm here. So that's almost too tight, but it'll loosen up. So now they want you to grab one of your hex nuts and install it. There's a big side and a small side. So the big side is where the threads are going to be. And dude, the wheel holds these in. I do not worry about Loctite knees at this point. But there, I got a strut pin in, and I've got the hex nut on for the wheel. Ramsey's RC Garage. All right, so the axle on the other side is going to be the short one. The same deal. Where's my piece? Right here. And it's going to be the big bearing. Press it in a little bit. And the little one right there. And don't forget the axle. Be a big dummy. There we go. Everything's working. And then this one is going to go the same way as the other one. Shoulder screws. Sometimes it's tricky to line them up. Honestly, I feel like if I just get them in there, this is where I let the driver help. It usually does. Huh. Now, me and my dad both know what it's like. That. Sometimes it's more the awkward, angry silence That is as bad as yelling. So 1020. Like I said, I like go tight and then back it off. Nice. So that's going to be, of course, the front axle. And we got to get our this on it. There's a somewhat, not really serrated, but there's a side with some grip on it that goes towards the tire that is not on yet. And again, the big side for the threads. These are 1.5. I kind of do, I think, Mike. I kind of look more like his dad. Yeah, I wonder what he thinks about that. I think he'd probably agree with me. I mean, yes, but not as much as I think I look like my grandpa, which is crazy. There's front axle. This one will be much simpler. And we're going to do it right now. So we're going to source the parts that they say. We got our input drive, got our axles, got our diff. We know it's 4 screws for the diff case. We know it's a little tiny screw bearing for the input drive. It's probably the rest of all this stuff. I didn't miss any little tiny shims, did I? No. I got a couple. All right. So, yeah, this little bearing went to market. So we already know the input bearing goes actually through a bigger one. My bad. Goes through the bigger one. And it's already going to be squared up if you put it on the input drive already. Yeah, you guys who have no idea what we've been doing or enjoying, I think this will be great for you guys to see what we've been up to. I mean, this is like working on a miniature of a real one half the time. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Fred. You priced one out. Bamboo Carbon X1, X1C or P1S is what Homeboy told me to look at. $1,800. I think it's gonna be awesome. It's necessary. All right, so diff, there it is going in right there. X1C, is that what that is? The carbon, yeah. So these bearings undoubtedly go right here at the end of the axle. Wait a minute. Let's not be stupid. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute now. This is where I think I might have messed this up last time. I think. Yeah, the axle's going first because that bearing is what holds them in. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. All right, fine. We'll just do what they say first. Even though I know I'm right already. So let's grease it up. Yeah, Dad, that's kind of what I thought you'd say. Uh, I think that's probably true. It's wild. We all have something similar to us, but it's ridiculous almost. Uh, Probably changed at different ages of my life, but it's a little bit ridiculous how much I look like your dad. I don't look There's some stuff from mom I got, but it's almost like it's not her. It's almost like it's her some of her relatives, but I don't know, man. It is what it is, I suppose. But there's sometimes I'll see a picture of our my dad, my grandpa, and it's like, whoa, dude. It's like looking at yourself in a time machine. I think my grandmother and my father favor each other a tremendous amount more than I, which is not a bad thing at all. She was fantastic, man. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me on this, man. You know, I feel like I said, I have always felt a little bit weird about talking so much about this newfound kind of thing, and it's only gotten worse. So, um, you know, thanks for doing it with me, you guys. So yeah, the diff cover comes on now. Might as well keep my hands clean. I've been able to keep pretty clean doing this and the grease and stuff out of my hands. Best of both worlds, bro. Like Hannah Montana. That's part of why I'm still doing this show, man. Or the other show. Because guys, it's been a long time. I know plug and plays and buying and flies, they're amazing. I love them. I love flying them, but there's nothing to the build that does much. I do need to probably definitely. Uh, oh yeah, that bearing will go for the other axle. Um, I definitely want to play with some weathering and stuff like that. Um, this winter. Thank Mike Kennedy for this driver. I made sure I had a full charge on the battery before the show. You can tell when it's going. It gives you that noise. So when I turn the page, it's going to be the axle stuff that I just wished I was doing. And I remember now that I'm doing this that when I did the first Basecamp, I made a mistake, but it was an easy one to fix. And you'll see why. So that's done. So we're on a page 10. And here's the axles. And again, I like kind of setting it up like the picture. And the bearings now, they can't go in first. They see this flange on this. These bearings will help hold it in. You're never gonna. You're getting the new radio, M-Shag. I'm a Spectrum guy, but I'm not an IX person. With this is wrong. It won't hold it in. There's nothing to hold it in. So that's how it goes. And that's what I did wrong the last time. So there it is. It's engaged the diff and all is well in the world. And there's two little screws that hold this bearing. That's not long enough. That holds this bearing in. MT12. I'm totally a Spectrum guy. I'm just not going to do the IX radio. That's my thing. So those little screws that they were talking about, there's going to be these four right here. They don't give you any extras, y'all. So don't lose nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that you screw in right here and hold the bearing in. And then there's a little spacer deal. Probably to clear you for the screws so you're not rubbing against stuff is what that would be. I'm going to go ahead and do this. See those little screw holes in it? We'll try to get better light going, guys. This is the first time I've really, at least in this room, ever tried to do bench thing. Hey. Can I make it smaller the other way? I thought I could. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying it. I thought I'd made it happen before. You son of a gun. You're kidding. Oh, snap. I'm an idiot. I should have been doing this the whole time. All right. Dad, thanks, man. You're on that ELRS Radio Master. I'm mad at you, though. I'm mad at you. Seems like a lot of screw to hold in a bearing, but that's what they want. That's what they want. Man, I should have been doing. I'm sorry, y'all. I should have been on that screen the whole time. Now I know. So now what they want, that makes all kinds of sense. So these spacers that I was worried about before, that go because otherwise the pin is way out. So now the spacer goes on to get you away from those screws you just put on, and your hex goes on. That's what's up. Go ahead and get this one in. Why not? And guys, you can Loctite these if you want. I might, but again, the wheel will hold it in also. Nice. Okay. The other side, one bearing. So much better. Yeah, sorry, y'all. Let's see, dummy. Yep, it holds it in. So no, it does not go first. It goes like this. And then the bearing gets smashed in there. Crooked. I wish, does that go deep enough? Nope. Be nice. Like a little presser. You can hear it. There we go. Got it seated. Smooth. All right, man. 2 of these. And we'll take a look at what the next steps are, but I don't think it's going to happen. It looks like, and we'll talk about what's next in the book. We're a 2-hour show, and that's crooked. All right, there we go. So good, yo. Yeah, again, thanks for coming, y'all. Fun. And I promise I'll work on other stuff. So that's my whole idea. I decided I'd commit to this Basecamp build, and I have enough other stuff going on. 1 hour on axles. I'll take it. And again, I am not a pro. I've just done it one other time. But thanks, Pops. Yeah, an hour. That's actually a good little way to gauge it too. Just an hour. So let's see. That goes there. And we got no parts left. This is not like IKEA. We are nothing left. But yeah, I promise that I won't work on the Basecamp, this one, until Thursdays. I have enough other little projects with that Jimny. And then my idea is to update you guys. Guys, that's it. We got 2 working axles. How cool. My idea is to keep you guys updated on the weird projects, and tease them a little bit on Sunday. We'll talk about the Basecamp build on Sunday, that it exists and that it's happening, but I won't go too in depth, I hope, and try to save some of that for this. I like keeping everything in the box while I'm doing these builds. I got my bits, got my drivers. I was all ready to go tonight, man. Looking forward to this since I, really committed to it on the show the other day. And this is a handful of plastic bags that now is done in the trash box. And I still have a little bit of just extra stuff from the first Basecamp build that I'm keeping totally separate in its little box. So this is the new Basecamp build box, and there's all the parts. I'll keep my manual and the axles in there. Keep things organized. Loving the bench, brother. I mean, I worked today on it all day. Stood up, I sat down. It was perfect. This shot's okay with a little more light, I think, but not ideal. All right, we don't need that though. So the next thing we're doing in the book, we finished bag A. So that may be a good way to think about it. Shocks are 2 half pages, but it's some doing, dude. And if I remember right, wasn't there circlips? Yeah, there's circlips involved. So so shocks are going to be their own thing. After that, you start in on the transmission. So I think the transmission is fun. There's a lot going on to the transmission. And I think too, you guys that want to see better, go to the website and go to the Basecamp and pull up the PDF manual. So yeah, dude, the shocks, man. We're done with the A bag. The B bag is the shocks. I'm going to make some notes right now because I can. Some things that I wanted to do. I've got enough. I really like that green slime for the O-rings on the shocks. So let's say shock pliers slash it's not bowling pliers that I'm talking about. What am I talking about? I keep forgetting it. Is that it? Rod end pliers, shock pliers. I want to for putting in those pillar balls, pivot balls, shock pliers, rod end, whatever. I'll know what I'm talking about. What's a good name for it though? Spare C clips. Yeah, I'll do them in a bag. I will work inside a bag when I'm doing C clips. I'm not even kidding. Bowling ply. Is that it? Is that what I was thinking is the right thing? I think I don't remember it because it's the same thing we could use on airplanes. It's kind of like when I meet somebody that's their name is Ryan, like I forget their name because their name is Ryan. Isn't that stupid? Shock pliers, writes us says. Shock pliers, rod end, bowling pliers. Cool. What else do I need? I definitely need shock pliers for the shock shafts to hold them still because I end up doing it with whatever I have. And I put plastic or something around it to try to be nice to the shock shafts. But the right tool is really good. I have Loctite. Came with it. Came with it. It's 11:30. So we did spend a little time on that Jimny, but dudes, that thing looks proportioned really well. Dude, the thrift side's gonna kill it though. The regular old body looks pretty good, but that thrift side, dude, that's gonna be nice. Kelly, I want to see what he's done to his because he says he figured out how to move the servo. I would use the Fusion brushless system if I didn't have an influencer discount for Spectrum 2-in-1. What did I use to cut the body like you did on the Rover? Dremel tool, cut off wheels, like mini grinder is what I used. If you want to know exactly, I can go get one and tell you. It's actually a pretty slick, quick change thing. At Lowe's, they have a Dremel tool section. So get the sturdiest looking, exactly, M-Shag, yeah. So I'm going, I had a lot of hobby wing ones from when I was at the hobby shop, but now I don't. I'll show you a 2-in-1 Spectrum real quick, but it's damn near same. They use that for the flywheel on the Lowe's Moto. Dremel is a must. Oh, 100%, man. 100%. So that's the Spectrum 2-in-1 right there. It's the same thing, man. Except it's got, you know, IC3 instead of XT60. Brushless 2-in-1. This one happens to be 2300 kV. They don't have an 1800 like I like on Hobby Wing. So what do they have? The 2300 and the 1400. So I figure if you run 2-cell, 2300 is still going to be really fun. And if you run 3-cell, it's going to be bonkers. But you can always turn them down, even right on the radio, depending on the radio. So it's worth it to deal with the difference in kV. The 1800 Hobby Wings, though, have been my. If I didn't have this kind of access, then I would stick on the Hobby Wing 1800. But who doesn't like membership having its privileges? So axles are done. That's cool. That was a good stopping point. I think we'll be able to do the shocks, especially if I have the proper tools to help me. That will be very nice. If I can grab me, and I have a week to get what I'm missing. So look at all that fits right back in there, man, for now. Axles are done. Always nice having a ruler with you or one of those nice little boxes that help you measure. Not a bad idea at all. Let me grab my phone now since I'm done. Yeah, that's a shelf bracket. And this is a magnet. Rulers rule. Let me fire myself. Get out of here. I keep hearing a little bit of feedback on this. Why do I still hear it? Sorry, y'all. Get out. Leave. There you go. Thank goodness. Okay. Rulers rule. Join me on StreamYard. So the only way I could get a second camera right now is by sending myself an invitation. Otherwise, they want you to pony up even more to run this stuff. Well, first night, I've managed to make the desk look like I've been here before. How about it? Guys, thanks so much. 2.5 hours. What does that make it? That's not bad. 11:30. Okay. Not bad. We get to take the chimney out of the box and take the body off. Throw some appropriate tires on there. That thing looks killer, man. That is a long wheelbase. And depending on how this thrift side works out, I can shrink a dink stuff. For loose parts, I get a muffin tin. It might be better than ice cube tray. M-Shag, thanks for coming. It's good to see you again, man. They are foil. Oh, yeah, those. Dude, I'll go get one of them vintage ones, man. I remember using foil to solder on one time, let the smoke out of a 4S battery, dude. Holy. It was at your place, Dad. Is that in the studio? I think it's probably by myself. Drinking coffee at 11:30. I'm absolutely out of my mind. Guys, if you enjoyed this, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. If you kind of are digging on the 3D printing stuff and you want an idea where my head's at with it, even though maybe you're not into it or you're not going to be doing it, that's cool. But if you're interested, Scale Builders Guild, Harley Designs, they do a stream every Wednesday night. And last night, their stream, they interviewed Jimmy Knight from Knight Customs, who is the GOAT in scale fabricating 3D files. He's got a lot to offer and more to come. Been at it for a minute. Like, the dude is well known in that arena. And they interviewed him, and it was fantastic. And there's a lot to learn there as well. But you kind of get to see where my head's at a little bit and some of the things that they're offering. I mean, dude, these articulated drivers where you hook up you hide the servo, hook up a servo, you got hands and heads moving. Pretty cool. Not to mention, when you find something you like, you can scale it, you know. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. You know, I need scale. I want bench seats in this Land Rover. You know, I got an interior there now that's hiding all the work inside, but I want that stuff. If I'm going to do scale trucks, then why stop at the body shell? Like, you might as well get it close inside too. So anyway, check it out if you want to kind of see where my head's at. Those guys do great work, and it's been inspiring watching them for, you know, at this point, I've watched those guys for a little while. Super slick. They're doing some metal work, brazing. They're really all in. I mean, crickets for stencils, 3D printing, of course, CAD work, designers. Like, they are, you know, really doing it. And between the two of them, there's a lot to learn. You've got one guy that's really super CAD, super engineer, and then the other who uses a lot of the older school methods and still does that stuff too, but, you know, styrene and metal and then laser cutting. There's the whole deal. So, lot to learn. Pretty neat. I mean, out of the box crawlers are a great time, but at this point, man, I'm having fun making them. And when we get one out of the box, we make it better. So why not just kind of just make it? And the hard body stuff, man, I can't believe what we did with the 3D printer. I didn't have anything to do with it except I built mine. But it's like, I mean, guys, this is my first one. And it's dope. It's dope. It's my first one. And it's dope. And there was no instructions. We figured it out. And me and Kelly's are both amazing. And I'm so glad he got a 3D printer, man, because he printed he gave me this in about 10 different bags of parts to glue together. And I enjoyed solving the problems of making it work out so much. I ain't going anywhere from the airport. You know what I mean? I'm flying still. But when I'm not, you can do this without having to leave the house. Guys, I appreciate you. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. I certainly did. Different kind of thing. And doesn't take away anything else from what we're doing. And we'll see you in the next one. See Sunday. You know what I mean? Enjoy the weekend. Some of you guys are going to have a long one. We're out of here. I'm still doing it. We're out of here in 5. Hanger Rats forever. 3 later. You're too good to be forgotten. We'll see you next time. Until I think of a different outro for this show, I don't know if I ever will. What do you think about this? Pretty nice. Guys, appreciate you so much. See ya. Bye now. Boom.